Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Max Velocity weather forecast. And in today's forecast, we'll be breaking down a massive winter storm that'll likely impact the United States as we head into next week. I'll give you the latest breakdown on this big winter storm and more in this forecast, but let's first begin with what's happening across the United States today, beginning with the southern plains, which is actually where we're beginning to notice a lot of cloud cover, and this will be due to a low pressure system way down at the bottom left of your screen, which is back in the Pacific Ocean. This low pressure system will actually be what brings us a massive winter storm next week, along with the threat for severe weather in the southern tier of the United States. On the other hand, the entire eastern half of the United States is for the most part dealing with sunny skies as a dominant high pressure system remains over closer to the mid-Atlantic region this afternoon. Unfortunately, things will be changing over the next several days as we have two big snowmakers that we'll be watching, one actually being late this weekend, which will not bring too much snow, but it will be noticeable for those in the northern plains and even back through the Midwest. So going into early Monday morning is when we'll see a little bit of light to moderate snow ongoing for those in North Dakota and as well as Minnesota. This will continue to move off to the east going through Monday afternoon and evening before this will eventually impact areas back through the Midwest. In terms of snowfall accumulation in the northern plains, we'll be talking about 3 to 6 inches in multiple areas. For the most part, though, closer to areas like the Twin Cities, maybe a coating if you're lucky. So this will not be a very impressive event, but something that will be much more impressive is that winter storm that I was mentioning for Wednesday into Thursday of this upcoming week. I'll break that down for you here in just a moment, but going into the Midwest with the same low pressure system, we'll see potentially a little bit of some flurries or light snow going into the overnight hours Sunday into Monday. Once we get into Monday afternoon and evening, that is when some light to moderate snow might pick up in northern Wisconsin and as well as the upper Michigan Peninsula, and eventually going into early Tuesday morning, that snow will move off to the east. It will be a very quick moving system, so not a whole lot of snow is going to come out of this. A few inches at best will be possible, especially back up closer to areas like northern Wisconsin and as well as into the upper Michigan Peninsula. Now, the massive winter storm that I was just talking about earlier in this forecast is what we're going to be talking about now. It is going to be potentially a very large winter storm. It actually might be the largest winter storm that we've seen all winter long, and it's actually originating from a low pressure system all the way back down currently southwest of California, which it's fairly rare for us to see a low pressure system within our viewing region here in the United States. Only a few days out, we're about 4 to 5 days out from this event actually taking place, but that's where that low pressure system is sitting this afternoon, and it will slowly shift into the United States going into Tuesday into Wednesday. And this is the jet stream, just for your reference. So again, the jet stream with your low pressure system being well down to our south, this is what's going to bring the threat for not just a winter storm and not just an ice event potentially, but it will actually bring the threat for severe weather back down in the southern plains as we go into late Wednesday into Thursday, and eventually going through Friday. We'll be watching for that threat of some snow and even some ice back into areas in the northern half of the United States. Now, for those that have no clue what I was just talking about, let's actually talk about what this looks like on the future radar in terms of rain, snow, ice, and all of that. So beginning with Monday, where is the low pressure system located? Well, it's all the way back down here southwest of California. Here's that other low pressure system, by the way, that'll bring a little bit of snowfall to the northern plains. Going into Tuesday into Wednesday, that is when things start to ramp up a bit. So this is Wednesday morning. We'll be talking about most likely some light to moderate snow extending from the Rocky Mountains all the way back through the Midwest, with the lightest activity being closer to areas like Chicago and obviously the Midwest. A little bit further down to the south and east of that, that is where the potential for some severe storms will exist. So there's multiple components to this low pressure system that we'll be monitoring very closely. Going throughout Wednesday afternoon and into the evening hours, that is when this low pressure system really rapidly intensifies over the central United States. And you may notice there are a lot of different colors on this map, ranging from that blue, which is snow, to purple, which is that rain, snow, and even freezing rain mix. And then back a bit further to the south of that, we have the threat for freezing rain, and then back to rain. So there's a lot of things to be watching with this system. It is likely going to last Wednesday through Thursday, may last into Friday if you're back over into New England. So this will be an event to watch for very closely. Now, once we look a bit closer in depth for those in the Midwest going through late Tuesday, we'll be watching for some light and maybe moderate snow beginning late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Accumulation will likely be fairly minimal with this, but once we get into late Wednesday into Thursday morning, look at what starts to happen. We could be watching for several different types of precipitation across the Midwest and all all the way back through New England. And what this essentially means is that there is going to be a level of uncertainty right now where that freezing rain will happen, where the snow will happen, and all that sort of stuff. So things will be definitely changing over the next few days. So stay tuned. We'll keep you posted with all the details here. Make sure that you're subscribed down below. Once we go into Thursday morning, some snow will still continue throughout the Midwest, and then this will eventually move out as we head into Friday morning. Now, what does this mean in terms of snowfall? Well, this is a very early estimate. Things will likely change as we get closer, but there is a legitimate threat for some areas seeing upwards of 1 to 2 feet of snow. It is not out of the question. However, I'll tell you right now, things will change, and there may be a chance for much less snow or even a little bit more snow than this. So keep that in the back of your head. Make sure you're staying updated with us. We'll keep you updated with the latest. This is not a forecast. It's just a computer model, but it is a possibility as we head into mid to late week. Again, it is just a computer model, but it is definitely a threat that we'll have to be watching for. In terms of ice, again, where this ice actually occurs is a question mark as well. Since we're still several days out, this will shift. So for right now, though, it does seem like from central Iowa back through areas in southern Michigan would be our main threat for some freezing rain, which would accumulate ice. But again, things will change over the next several days. We'll have a much more specific forecast heading into early this week. Now, for those in New England and anywhere in the Northeast, this event will begin late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. There will be a threat for some heavy snowfall and even some freezing rain, which will likely bring some ice. And then once we go through Thursday afternoon and into Friday morning, some light snow will still be remaining in parts of the Northeast as we go throughout Friday morning, and this system will likely move out by Friday afternoon. Now, in terms of snowfall accumulation, again, things will change, but what the European model is showing is upwards of 1 to 2 feet of snow in some areas, especially back up in northern New England. But I will tell you again that this will change as we get closer. Whether we'll see lesser amounts or even slightly higher amounts is going to change a little bit, since there are still a few days until this event does occur. And what the European model is showing in terms of ice accumulation is really not that surprising at this point. The main area that we'll be watching for in the Northeast will be from areas in western New York near Buffalo back through areas in New England. But again, things will shift a little bit further north and south as we get closer, so stay tuned. We'll keep you posted with the latest details as things do change. Now, a big concern as well with this will be the colder air behind it. This will really bring a pretty Arctic blast shot of cold air for those up in the northern plains, and as well as going into the Northeast as we head closer to the weekend. But going into Thursday, much colder air will usher in for those in the Dakotas and anywhere in the northern Great Plains. Once we go through Friday and Saturday, a small blast of cold air will impact the Northeast, which goes right along with what the Climate Prediction Center is currently forecasting in their 6 to 10 day outlook from Thursday through next Monday. Make sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe if you've not already. This forecast is brought to you by Platinum Contracting.